Welcome back to the Football Corner Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremiah Queen. And before we get started with today's episode, I would like for all my viewers to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you're listening via a podcast app, I would like for you to subscribe to the podcast. Cue it up. So, Thursday Night Football just happened to kick off the NFL 22 NFL season, and the Buffalo Bills and the Rams went at it, and it wasn't even close. Buffalo Bills ended up winning 31-10. Josh Allen played phenomenally, and Matthew Stafford looked like he was a rookie. So, I could break down like everything that happened in the game, but I just want to talk about the big points that stood out to me. Number one, for the Rams, Allen Robinson was non-existent in that game. Allen Robinson only had 2 targets and 1 catch. There was a point in time in the game to where Allen Robinson is running a drag route. Matthew Stafford rolls out to the right of his pocket, and he's wide open. And Matthew Stafford sees him, neglects to throw to him, takes the sack. Why? Give him the ball. I understand y'all have as much chemistry because you just got there, but last I checked, when Cooper Kupp was there last season, when you moved to Los Angeles from Detroit Lions, you had a great rapport with Cooper Kupp. He ended up having 105 catches that season. And Cooper Kupp had a really good game because they have really good chemistry. He ended up having like 13 catches over 100 yards and the only touchdown that the Rams scored that game. And the Rams did not capitalize off of the turnovers. It was the point in the game where the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen was on fire. Ended up throwing an interception that was just a great play by the linebacker. They didn't score off that one. James Cook ended up fumbling the ball. They didn't score off that one. And then Josh Allen's second interception, which was a forced throw in my opinion by Josh Allen, probably the only mistake he made on Thursday, they ended up scoring a touchdown for that. But you did not capitalize on the first 2 turnovers. You had opportunities in the game, good field position, and you weren't capitalizing on it. So that's my biggest thing when I watched the Rams play. Y'all looked outmatched. Y'all looked like y'all weren't prepared to play football. Y'all looked like y'all were caught up in the moment of y'all winning a Super Bowl and y'all weren't ready to play. So, on the Bills side of things, Stephon Diggs played great. Had 8 catches over 100 yards and a touchdown. Josh Allen played wonderfully. He had an 89.9 QBR and over 100 passer rating. Also had close to 300 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns, and 1 rushing touchdown. Led his team in rushing. So Josh Allen looks like what we thought Josh Allen could be this season. So the hype for the Bills is still going to be running this weekend and going into next week. I can see why they're Super Bowl favorites. They look like the most prepared team this Thursday. And we'll see if they can live up to what they're doing in the future. Now, with Week 1, Game 1 out the book, it's time to talk about the rest of the games that will be happening this weekend. Starting with the Sunday games. I want to talk about 3 teams that are must-win scenarios, starting with Week 1. These are games you should win to kick off your season to be successful. I understand every team should win Week 1, but it's not possible. So, the 3 teams that I think have the most pressure in getting that first win, number 1, Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos traded for Russell Wilson, gave up a lot of draft capital and players in order to get this guy. And they ended up extending his contract so he could be there for the foreseeable future. You can't lose to Seattle. I understand emotions will be high when the game first starts because you're going back to Century League Field and you got to play your former team and you've been there for your whole career. You can't lose against Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks. The crowd's gonna celebrate you when you come in, Russell Wilson, but they're gonna boo you during the game. This is why they brought you here. The Broncos brought you here so they could use their good roster to good use by having a good quarterback. Don't mess it up. Don't mess it up, Russell Wilson. The second team, the Carolina Panthers. Now I know you're thinking the Carolina Panthers, they're not going to be a good team this season. Doesn't matter. But even though I don't have them highly regarded this season in terms of what they're going to do, it's still a big game for Baker Mayfield and Matt Rule. You pick up Baker Mayfield, you end up making him the starter, and you're only paying him chump change because the Cleveland's taking most of his contract. But you have Sam Darnold, who you give up picks for, and you're paying $18 million for. You can't have a backup quarterback making $18 million and think you don't have a lot of pressure going into week one when starting a quarterback that's making less money on the roster than your backup. It's not acceptable at all. So Baker Mayfield is going to be fired up. I know Brown's going to be fired up just because he's another guy that was playing for the team. He was supposed to be the franchise guy, but they ended up picking up Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson suspended for 11 games, so he's not even going to play. So it's going to be Jacoby Brissett versus Baker Mayfield. It's going to be a good matchup. I think this will be a great game for them, and we'll see what happens in that game. So in the last team, and it was almost a toss-up. I wanted to pick the Eagles, all the pressure. I wanted to pick the Dolphins, all the pressure with the two quarterback situations with Jalen Hurts with the Eagles and Tua Tagovailoa with the Miami Dolphins. But the pressure, in my opinion, is on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and when they play against the Dallas Cowboys. Now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers had a weird offseason. Bruce Arians no longer the head coach. He's like higher up in the building. So the coaching job went straight to Todd Bowles. Tom Brady is having marital issues? ? Right? And they lost a lot of offensive linemen due to injury. So it's like a new offensive line. Tom Brady's coming back. And he has like a lot of household issues that he's dealing with. We don't know how his mindset will be during the game. And then you're playing the Cowboys, which the Cowboys is another team that is injury-filled in the offseason. The only highlight you have is Dak Prescott, maybe Zeke, and CeeDee Lamb. So, and you can't forget the defensive rookie of the year last year, Micah Parsons, who was a monster. But yeah, so the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have the third most pressure, in my opinion, going into week one. And a must-win scenario because you want to kick your season off good. We want to have a great start. Saints are coming. I believe in the Saints being a team that's going to match you blow for blow. Even though I have them second in the division, I still think the Saints will give you a run for your money, and you can start off the season 0-1. Now, I want to give some bold predictions going into the 2022 NFL season before all the games kick off. I want to do some bold predictions, get them out the way. If they fail, they fail, but I'm somewhat confident in my bold predictions. So one of my bold predictions is my Super Bowl matchup this year. I think it will be from the AFC. I know Bills are the favorite. I think the Bills will have a good season. But I'm leading towards the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, so far as of now, has not got a contract extension, has got a new contract, and he's on the franchise tag, which you'll make a lot of money on the franchise tag. But Lamar Jackson is in a prove-it season. He said, I'm going to show you that I'm worth the $230 million I want. I'm going to show you why you should pay me Deshaun Watson money. Okay? So the Baltimore Ravens, they get all their starters back. They add more pieces in free agency. They get Marcus Williams from the Saints. They get Kyle Hamilton in the first round of the draft. J.K. Dobbins is coming back. All right? So the Baltimore Ravens, I am highly confident that they'll be representing the AFC in the Super Bowl this season. Now, the team in the NFC that I think will be being their rival this season is the Green Bay Packers. Now, I know the Green Bay Packers have been in quite a slump this past season, but because of, losing Devontae Adams, not really replacing the pieces they lost in the receiving core, because they lost Marcus Valdes-Scantling to the Chiefs. But they got this guy named Romeo Doubs. Romeo Doubs is the fourth-round pick rookie this season for the Packers, and he played really well in preseason. There was a lot of woos going in the training camp this season for Romeo Doubs. You got Sammy Watkins. I think Sammy Watkins could give you some production, right? So those two receivers, and then you have they also pick a rookie in the second round. But I think the Green Bay Packers might shock people because I think they're going to be a defensive team that runs the football, and when it comes down to game-winning drives, they put the ball in Aaron Rodgers' hand. And I think that will be the skill set that will lead Aaron Rodgers to be the NFC representation in the Super Bowl. And my Super Bowl matchup, Ravens, Green Bay Packers, I got Ravens winning it all to be my Super Bowl favorite. Okay, it's here. Week 1 prediction time. I see some of the matchups. Some of these picks are difficult to make. I'll give you a heads up. I did pick the Rams to win on Thursday night, and they disappointed me. The Bills are the better team. So we're on for 1. But I feel very confident in my next picks of the week. So, first game up, we have New Orleans Saints versus Atlanta Falcons. I got the Saints at that one. San Francisco versus Chicago. I'm going to go with the 49ers. Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. Even though I think Pittsburgh could give Cincinnati a run for the money, Cincinnati is still the division champ. I'm going to go give the edge to Cincinnati. Philly, Detroit. Another game that could be either or. I know Philly has the better team, and they have high expectations this season. So I'm going to pick Philadelphia in that game. New England, Miami. I'm going to pick Miami. Tua Tagovailoa is undefeated against Bill Belichick. Baltimore, New York. Got to go with the Ravens. Jacksonville, Washington. I'm going to have to take the away team. I think Jacksonville is going to surprise a lot of people this season in terms of how great their offense plays and how well their defense plays. Next game will be Cleveland, Carolina. I'm going to go with Cleveland in that game. I think Baker Mayfield needs to win that game. I think he's going to have a chip on his shoulder. But I think Kevin Stefanski, knowing that quarterback in and out, will have a game plan to be able to stop him. Houston and Indianapolis, I'm going to go with the Colts. New York Giants versus Tennessee Titans, I'm going to go Titans. Green Bay Packers versus Minnesota. I'm going to go Minnesota in this game. It's weird, but Kirk Cousins has had Aaron Rodgers' numbers. They usually split since he's been in that division. They usually split games. So I'm going to give the first matchup to the Vikings. Next game's Chiefs-Cardinals. I'm going to go Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs are just too dominant, and they're veteran presence. And Andy Reid I believe, has a winning record when it comes to Week 1 games. Next game will be Vegas versus Los Angeles. I'm going to go Vegas in that game. Tampa Bay, Dallas. I'm going to go Tampa Bay, but Dallas would not surprise me if they win. And the last game, Monday Night Football matchup, Denver versus Seattle. I'm going to go with the Broncos. So those are my Week 1 predictions for the 2022 NFL season. Thanks for watching and listening to the Football Corner Podcast. Podcast episodes will be dropped on Mondays and Fridays, as well as YouTube videos on Mondays and Fridays. You could click the link in my description to follow the social media links to my podcast social media pages. And also, you'll be able to stay up to date on new drops, new takes, and all that good stuff. Thanks for watching. See you next time.